Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 17, Identity and Change. Really good episode, really loving this Agents of Hydra arc that they're doing. Even on Twitter, they've changed like all this stuff. It's really cool. And this was a great episode. It was really good going into the next step. By the end of it, not only was Radcliffe actually captured by Aida, Agnes was officially killed. Radcliffe may or may not be close. I know, of course, I'm assuming at least, you know, Skye will be fine, and or Daisy, because they've been saying Skye so much that I'm actually back to saying it now. But I'm sure Daisy will be fine, and the rest of the main characters. But I'm not too sure about where they're headed with Radcliffe, to be totally honest. And even if he doesn't die there, he'll be trapped there forever, and he won't even have Agnes anymore. So I just don't know how things are going to play out there. But great way to kind of end things out and go into, you know, kind of this next chapter of this alternate reality. I am curious if it's going to end in the next episode. I feel like it could, you know, but at the same time, there's just so much stuff. They could potentially add in other Inhumans. They could add in Yo-Yo if they wanted to do that. They could bring in other older characters and things like that. Just, you know, little stuff if they wanted to. But it was a really good episode. You know, we have the characters going through. Of course, we have, you know, now that Ward has been revealed to be a double agent from the last episode, we have Daisy and Jemma going to S.H.I.E.L.D. and they actually meet Mace, which I thought was pretty cool. So he's there. Based on the promo, he is still, it's kind of still the same thing where he's not an Inhuman, but he still has the Inhuman drug. So I thought that was interesting, because I was curious about that. Like, are they going to say he's actually Inhuman this time around, or, you know, how's that stuff going to play out? So I was surprised to see that he, you know, somehow they still do have that drug for him, at least based off of the next episode, because May ends up fighting him, and she gets kind of juiced up. So I'm excited to see that, because, of course, May fighting is always cool, and now we'll get to see how that works against Mace. So I'm looking forward to that next week. But it was really cool the way they have to go through this really odd process where, of course, they get Coulson, and because of the Tahiti project, he has, you know, fragments here and there where he's like, I remember this not being right, or, you know, just some things being off a little. So they're able to convince him, and they tell him the truth. And it's able to work for him a little bit. He still only has those fragments. But for everyone else, they're like, all right, well, we can't exactly tell Ward that he's dead in real life. So they have to hide that from him. They have to hide the true answers from S.H.I.E.L.D. But they find out that Radcliffe is alive, and they know where to get him. And that's what they end up doing. And unfortunately, because, of course, Aida knew that Jemma and Daisy actually jumped into the framework, she knew that in the last episode, so she's actually able to kind of track them down, because she put like a no-fly zone over Radcliffe's location. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. So of course, things get really, really intense, because it comes down to this really dramatic standoff where you have Radcliffe, Agnes, Fitz, and Aida. And it just got really intense. And then you have, of course, Coulson, Jemma, and Ward. And Ward has a shot on who he knows is the Doctor. But, of course, if he shoots Fitz in this world, he will die for real. And it was just a very intense scene where it's like, this could be working. You know, even early in the episode, I thought, you know, the whole point from the last episode was Aida didn't want to show Fitz Jemma, because it's like he has like this very serious attachment to her that could play against me. But she shows him in this episode, and it's like no big deal to him. I'm like, okay, I think that was like her test to see what would happen. And then she's like, I know I got him now, because he had like zero reaction to Jemma coming back to life. So, you know, it got intense when they're in that moment, and Radcliffe is like, hey, this isn't really you. She's trying to trick you. Like, in the real world, you know, this other side that she's talking about, you know, we were friends. Like, you're one of the good guys, and this is not who you are. Like, you don't kill innocent people. And it seemed like it was probably working, especially when Radcliffe said, you went to another universe. I thought for sure that that was going to do the trick, because Fitz actually said that early on in the episode. I'm like, okay, Radcliffe said, like, you did go to another universe for Jemma. And I was like, okay, I think he got him, because he said a line that Fitz said early on. And I thought for sure he had him, because it was like, holy crap, I said that I would do that for, what do they call it, Madam Hydra. And I actually did do that for someone else, even if I can't remember. But he said what I was kind of just saying in a loving tone, I actually did. So I thought he had him. And then it all just kind of fell apart, and he ends up killing Agnes, which really sucked, because it's like, man, she's officially dead now. Like, she's actually dead. And he kills her, and he's just like, I guess you don't know me at all. And he's just like, I'm out of here. But he does see Jemma, because of course she flips out like, that's not him. That's not what Fitz would do. So I have to assume at some point this is going to impact him. Like, there are too many coincidences where it's like, this person knows you and says this, or they have this sort of information about you. So I am very curious where they're going to go with it. I feel like that might be what they're leading towards, where eventually Fitz is going to be the one to ultimately turn against Aida and realize how crazy things are. He might not remember it, of course, but I think he will be the one to actually turn against her. So I feel like that might be something that they're teasing. Don't really know just yet, but we'll see how all that ends up playing out. Mac being in this episode was pretty cool. We get to see him and his daughter, which I thought was nice. He doesn't remember anything. He never worked with S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything like that. He was just a normal dude in this universe. And unfortunately, he's the reason that Daisy ends up being captured, because he, of course, wants to protect his daughter. And so he has the little microphone and he acts as though he remembers. And I thought that was cool, because I was like, oh man, how come he remembers? That's a random sort of thing. Like, why does he remember more than anybody else? So we find out that he doesn't remember anything. And so that's how Daisy ends up getting captured. And she fights her way down to the lobby. And of course, she just ends up being captured anyway. But I was like, alright, well, he did what he could to protect his daughter. And then after that, he felt really bad. Like, he couldn't look his daughter in the eyes. So that's why he ends up going to S.H.I.E.L.D. And he decides, I want to help you get her back. So he is with S.H.I.E.L.D. once again. Like, just somehow he finds his way there and he is a hero again. So excited to see how that's supposed to play out in the next episode. He's still the same kind of guy. He's teaching his daughter about, engines and how to build things, and they're doing robotics and engineering. So I thought that was really cool. He's still the same person, just not within S.H.I.E.L.D. So excited to see how that kind of plays out with this different version of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they have the same base, but, it's all torn apart. They don't have the same amount of technology and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, Radcliffe and Daisy being captured, I'm very excited to see, how far that really ends up going. Will they kill Radcliffe? Like I said, for Daisy, I'm not too concerned that she'll live or die. It's just whether or not she'll either escape or ultimately they'll storm Hydra, which I don't think is a really good plan. But those are kind of the two options at this point. So something's going to happen, and we just kind of have to see where things play out. But I really love this episode. Of course, the way they ended, it's just like these giant effing cliffhangers, and it's just insanely entertaining watching this alternate reality where, the stakes are really high because they could still die. They could still lose each other and, legitimately die in the real world. So I'm very excited to see what we get in this next episode. I am curious how many more episodes we have left to go in this alternate reality before they're able to escape and eventually find out where the rest of the team is. But it's just really good so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. So definitely love this episode. Can't wait to see the next one. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, or least favorite parts. Now that we have Mac joining S.H.I.E.L.D., we have both Radcliffe and Daisy captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. We have the promo showing that May is going to end up fighting Mace, both with superpowers, or at least super strength. We'd love to know how close you guys believe we are to the actual end, and what is going to be the end of the framework, because honestly, I can't think of a solution at this point. Like, I feel like they would have to get to Hydra, and there's some sort of, kind of way out there, because otherwise, they got nothing. Radcliffe can't escape. Of course, he's dead anyway in the real world, so he literally has no way to escape unless he goes into someone else's body. Jemma and Daisy, of course, their route was cut off because Aida found out that they were there, so she knew to block that off. So I feel like all they can possibly do to escape at this point is either capture Aida and get her alone, or make it to her office, and maybe there's something there that's like a portal that they can just literally walk through, and then they wake up. So I don't know. It's crazy. Honestly, I would love it if we had at least 2 more episodes. I kind of want this to keep going, just because it's so freaking intense watching them have to skate around the idea of their friends being villains and being in this Hydra-controlled world where it's just difficult to get around in general. So, I'm loving what they're doing with that, but I'm excited to see where we go. Hopefully we have a couple more episodes, but if it ended in the next one, either way, it would be really freaking sweet. But I feel like based on what they showed us, I think we have 2 more episodes to go. But I would love to know how many more episodes you guys think we have, and like I said, where you think or how you think they're going to end up destroying the framework. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.